Hey everyone, today I just want to talk to you about the Zwift World Series that happened this season. I'll outline the reasons why it really didn't work out for me, and talk through the season as it unfolded. So I'll play my race clips throughout, whether that's the community Zwift World Series, the Zwift World Series that I took part in, or even the test events that I managed to go in as well. So as we've got a community race in Richmond finishing off here in the background. Basically, my World Series was over before it even begun. So, 24 riders were gifted series passes based on being as part of the top 8 teams from previous seasons. Now, that's all well and good. I think that there should be a incentive for athletes to automatically qualify. But the problem with this was that the first World Series race to qualify for the final was the day before the World Champs semi-finals, and not having a series pass meant that I didn't advance to that final, and I just wasn't going to risk my World Championships chances by racing at about 3 a.m. 24 hours out. So essentially, my chances of the World Series were done with one race out of five out. Like I couldn't win the World Series. So from there, I had to go into the qualifiers to try and either earn a series pass or to get my racing in that way to try and become part of the top 50 to qualify for Zwift Games. So that was all the World Series was to me at that stage, trying to qualify for Zwift Games, which you can see my recap video about a really great series that it was. So, in preparation for the second World Series race on peak performance, I went in a community event. I got dropped on the descent and I learned a lot from that. Managed to sneak across the line there. But then I went to the elite qualifier, which we have up on the screen now. I made it over just behind the 2 or 3 leaders over the hill and had a really good descent where I managed to catch back up and end up in this group of 6. So I can't recall exactly how many qualify from this into the final. It was supposed to be about maybe 15 riders or something like that. So I was pretty safe at this stage, and I completely mess up my sprint timing. So each of these races, one after the other, was a really good opportunity to hone the craft for the important race, which I go into in a few weeks' time. Now, in the end, because of trainer issues, this race, the whole race was annulled, and everyone advanced to the final because a lot of riders, including myself, had quite a discrepancy on the 100% trainer difficulty between power sources on the grade. I was one of those. I think I had about 3% difference in this race on the grade, whereas the rest was spot on. So got my qualifier there, as everyone did, and we went to the final. So here I am, absolutely all out as we head over the grade. I'm the last rider in the lead group, trying to survive for dear life. I'm in 11th place here. Two important things about that: top 10 in any race ensures a series pass. So if I can latch onto this group, I earn my series pass, which means I no longer have to do these qualifiers. This is significant because the World Champs final in Abu Dhabi was only a few days before the next qualifier. And I would have had to travel home, long haul flight, straight into another qualifier for a limited amount of spots, etc., etc. So if I could get a top 10 here, it would just make my season a lot smoother. It would ensure basically that I'm in the Zwift Games. As we head into the finish of this one, you might have seen my recap on this. This was a really good result. I learned from the community race. I learned from the qualifier race, and I almost come away with the bunch sprint win there, but I end up third after the announcements. So a little bit of prize money. That was really good. I then decide after the world champs, because of the series pass, basically to not really worry about the World Series anymore. To try and focus on the Zwift games. So for me, I had a break after Worlds. So this meant coming into the third final here, really out of touch. You can see me almost getting dropped up pot bank here. essentially, I was just in the race to secure my points needed for Zwift Games, which that was kind of, I was happy enough with that decision because I missed that first race. So in the final, I was rubbish, way out the back. Really completely all in. I was actually really happy with my ride, to be honest. But obviously, my level here compared to when I got to the Zwift Games another 3 months down the track was completely different. From there, the series gets annulled, um, fully cancelled due to all the trainer issues and the annulments, that kind of stuff. Allowed the organisers to come up with some changes to the rule set, some firmware updates, that kind of thing. So race 4 on Power to no Shisha Shakedown and Power to the Tower were postponed. Which for me, given that I decided to have a break, I was like, brilliant. That's actually worked out really well. I might actually be able to do race 4 and 5 if they're after the Zwift Games in really good shape, and compete there. So you can see I finish maybe 32nd. From there, it all gets cancelled. They ran a test event on the Shisha Shakedown, which not many riders supported. I'm here in it, still not in great shape, but trying to get a good hit out in, and my form really bounces up a lot. Now, this race ends up being scheduled for, I think it was the 10th of April, basically 12 hours before our nationals. So, as soon as that was announced, I knew that there was no chance that I was going to be able to participate in this one. So another 0 point race for me. So my World Series is really not a thing this year. Now, in a really positive note, the Zwift Games racebook said that the Zwift Games results would kind of be the pathway to series passes for whatever the process is next season. So obviously, my 5th place at the Zwift Games should get me the series pass or equivalent to whatever the series is next year, which will obviously make things a lot simpler. Depending on the timings, with obviously the multi-platform kind of era that we're in. And then finally, the last race on Power to the Tower, I managed to get a race in the community race earlier in January when they did those. But basically, this was scheduled for when I was away on a little holiday. Just a bit of a trip away after the nationals. It's been a pretty a, a lot of time where I've been working hard, so just went away for a little bit. And I did have my trainer with me, but because of all the clock changes, the race was at 2 a.m. An unfamiliar environment. Um, World Series obviously meaning nothing at this stage. I decided not to participate, and probably fair enough. So this was my only one chance at the Power to the Tower. Looked like an awesome race. Would have loved to do it in form, but I do have the SRC monthly final on Sunday, which is my goal for the week anyway. So that's my experience with the World Series this year. It's disappointing to not be part of it, really, and to see the races doing what I love to do, and getting those results. So yeah, just thought I'd make a quick post about it because it's been largely not talked about online, and I don't think it was necessarily the best advertised, especially after the postponements and with the resumption of the series over the last few weeks. So thanks for watching. Cheers for supporting throughout a great season. I've got some really cool kit coming soon, which I'm looking forward to showing off. So cheers, everyone. Catch up.